Hi, Jeff here from Small Arms Research. Thanks for stopping in. Today we're testing another black rifle. From that side of the camera, it doesn't look all that different than the others that we test. However, from this side of the camera, there's a little something extra there. That's a belt feed mechanism from Valkyrie Armament. And today we're testing the BSR-01. Kind of a custom model at that. Stick around, we'll show you what we've got. The BSR Mod 01 allows feed from a belt, hence the belt feed mechanism, or from a box mag. The belt feed mechanism, after alterations to your firearm are completed by Valkyrie Armament, the belt feed mechanism actually drops into the mag well and locks into place. So when you want to remove it from the mag well, that opens it back up again for use with a traditional magazine. Now, I've been around long enough to almost be able to read your mind. Now, don't tell my wife that. That gives me a lot of excuses. But I believe you're saying, Jeff, how can that be a belt fed? There's no top cover. Well, let me explain. This area right here includes a drive pin. The drive pin goes through the receiver, connects to a slot in the bolt carrier, and when the carrier moves rearward and forward, the angle of the slot allows the mechanism to rock, operating the feed pawls which pull the belt in. You can see it rock when operated by hand. By depressing these release ears, the feed pawls inside can very clearly be seen operating. And it's this rocking motion as it moves rearward and forward that allow the pawls to operate. And what it's doing is it's harnessing residual energy from the bolt carrier during its standard stroke. Alterations to the right side of the receiver that might be immediately noticeable are this area here that you can kind of see through. And what this is a link chute, and that's where all your links come out of. Your ejection port is where all your brass comes from, obviously, and your link chute is where your links feed from and drop straight down. We're going to provide plenty of detail for you so you can actually have a good grasp as to how this system works and some of the benefits of it. But there's really no way to explain as well as just showing you in video. And we'll give you some footage of some nice close-up action so you can see how the mechanism works. And I just noticed in the viewfinder probably a poor placement of the camera. As you can see, the test facility is a bad place to park your automobile. So if you're looking for a parking lot, don't put it here. Can't trust these guys. One thing that makes this rifle distinct from a lot of other belt feds is a term that's often equated with loading, especially under pressure, and it's a real easy one, and you will hear brass to grass. That often means that the brass goes down and the links are up. Well, on this particular system, due to the way that it fires and its ability to fire from both links and box magazines, that's not the case. The links are down on the Valkyrie system. This piece of wire on the end here is actually a feed tab, and that's what you use for a starting link. Now, in order to feed this device, all you do is depress these tabs, and then you feed this through right to the link chute, so it comes out on the other side. And that's it. She's ready to go. With 2 racks of the charging handle, it's ready to feed and fire. We're almost ready to fire. The links are locked in. The bolt carrier is all the way back, and you can tell that because of the relationship of the drive pin. This area here floats up and down as the carrier goes to the front and to the rear and rocks the entire mechanism, activating the feed pawls on the inside. When it's all the way to the rear, the drive pin is at its topmost point. One fantastic improvement that was made to this gun over some of the earlier previous attempts, such as the early original Colt and the Colt Senior, is the bolt lock. This right here, this little piece allows you to close the bolt without having to put your thumb in behind the mechanism like the earlier ones. And if you read the article in Small Arms Review on the Colt Cena unit, you'll know why that's so important and why this thumb is a little bit flatter than this thumb. As you can see, we've got one round that's locked into the feed pawls, but it's not in a presentation area yet. If you pull out on this and bring your rounds through, what you've got is a round in the chamber, and it sits in the same area where it would be presented as if it were feeding from a box magazine. So as far as the carrier is concerned and the rest of the mechanism, it's just feeding right from a box magazine. It's stripping it out of the link and pushing it into the chamber and completing the process over and over and over. As we return the bolt to its most rearward position and allow it to unlock, you'll be able to see the feed strip drop out and the round be chambered just as though it were feeding from a standard box magazine. Just like that. And this will give you a nice view of the ejection side of the firearm. Watch for the links to drop out and the rounds to come out from the standard ejection port. At this point, we'll give you a close-up view of the feeding side of the mechanism. And here you'll be able to see it rock back and forth and get a little bit better understanding of what those feed pawls are doing in bringing the belt in by harnessing the energy from this pin. If we can, we'll slow it down and help get more detail out of it on the video. To unload, if for some reason you'd want to take a belt out before it's been fired through, I've never heard a reason why someone would want to do that, but you may have a safety concern. These two ears are depressed and the belt will fall out most of the time. Sometimes a light tug will be all that's necessary to be able to remove the belt. Let's play pretend. Let's pretend that you've had enough of shooting belted ammunition and you want to go back to a box mag. So, if you want to do that, it's a very, very simple, easy process. No tools necessary. What you're going to do is remove, well, obviously after making sure that the firearm is clear for the 57th time, remove the rear takedown pin. You are going to depress this linkage bar, and that's what connects the drive mechanism to the drive pin. And at that point, all you do is open it up like you would your standard AR. Now, you depress the mag release on the other side, the feed mechanism is removed, the rifle can then be closed, and you can see through the slots that have been cut to accommodate the drive feed with the magazine seats properly. This is the only area on the ejection side that you can see. On the feed side, it requires a little bit of extra work. To return to belt feed from box magazine, we do the obvious first. We remove the magazine. We check the chamber. Pull the rear takedown pin, open it back up. The belt feed unit is dropped into the mag well, and the mag release is depressed to allow it to lock in. When we close it, this is an important part again, you can see that the linkage here is going to hit on the drive unit. So this has to be depressed. Let's do this without a glove so you can see clearer. That's depressed. The firearm can be closed, and a simple rocking of the mechanism will line it back up again. And at this point, we're back to belt feed. As always, thanks for joining us. We hope that you had a good time learning about the Valkyrie BSR Mod 1. If you liked the video, please subscribe and tell your friends about it. Feel free to share it on the other social media areas. Obviously, the more hits we get, the more incentive we have to make more of these videos. Keep on checking in. We've got a lot of really neat things coming up in the future. It's going to be a never-ending stream of cool things. And be safe and have fun. I'd like to stick around with you, but I got work to do. I just thought of something. If I put a 5-round belt in here, do you think we can hunt deer with it? Let's call and find out.